Like, cut, that's it.
You know, I have to think that it always had, and at times was, this divisive. The reason I say that, and you know, the water's been really interesting to me, the evolution of the water policy in this county, and now that I'm retired and I don't have to read so much in the way of agendas and projects and all that, I chose to reread a book that I'd read 10 years ago maybe. And it's a really good book for your listeners if they are interested in history, but it's the story of the water, that basically California's water supply going from the north to the south, the Owens Valley providing the water for Los Angeles. That at the time that was very, very, very contentious, and this is all going on between 1900 and 1910. And Los Angeles wouldn't have been able to evolve had it not been for kind of sneaking over there and grabbing somebody else's water. Owens Valley wasn't happy with that. And the story, one of the stories is Cadillac Desert, one of the books that's been written about the history of that. Cadillac Desert by Mark Reisner. And I'm rereading it and just kind of chuckling because, oh no, that was so, the politics of that was so crazy that it really was unbelievable. They were blowing up the water lines as they were building them, and people from Los Angeles were coming up and doing backroom sneaky deals to be able to steal the water in the first place and so forth. So it's a really interesting story, and for people that are interested in, you know, that
What's
kind of thing,
happening
how does one community lose their natural resource like water to another, and how do you stop it? But I mean, it's interesting to read, and that is over 100 years ago.
And here we are now.
And then another example later, you know, that the Civil War, I mean, back then, it didn't get any worse than that when that was all politics and policy, and it created a civil war in a country that almost divided it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we live in a weird time, you know, just with everything. I mean, it could be apples and oranges. It could be, I mean, it's just, there's so many crazies and just, you know, I live on common sense, you know. What's common sense to me is, you know, probably pretty close to the middle.
And that's the right way to live, because very often policy or messages are marketed to people,